Tamed. Tamed is the last T of the 5 T's of the psyche of the sale. Told, taught, tugged, teamed, or tamed. We went through told. The idea of being confident, to almost an arrogant component of confidence that if they don't pick you, they're gonna miss out. They want to be told. They want that confident person in their industry. Taught, the person who wants to be taught, massaged through a process through teaching, demos, and explanations, and definitions, and curriculum, and all these things to make a much more sophisticated decision. Tug, the person that has already been told a little bit and taught enough. Now they need to be tugged. They're more about being nurtured and coddled a little bit. Embrace them with their knowledge. Keep tugging them along, because the other dude out there is not gonna tug. They don't know the 5 T's. They're not wired differently. Team. That's the one where you join them, embrace them in the idea of who they're going to be pitching this to. We embrace the fact that they're smart at what they do, but more importantly, we want to join forces with them. We want to collaborate with them. We want to take their ideas on how to do this process and put them with our ideas on how to do this process, because together we're bigger, faster, stronger, and we've got to convince somebody in the higher up that, hey man, our idea is a good one, and we're doing it together. We want to invite that decision maker into the teaming and presentation process. And if they bite on that, you're one step closer to a close in getting to that decision maker. It's important that we understand what buyer wants to be teamed that way. So we've got through those told, taught, tugged, teamed, but now we're on the last one, tamed. I smile with tamed because I actually made a living selling to people who need to be tamed. Wired differently people take on difficult chores, embrace crisis. We may be nervous in that environment, but we thrive in that environment. And the type of buyer that needs to be tamed is really in that environment. And so I have a quick story about a trucker CEO friend of mine who became my friend. But I told him, I taught him, I teamed him, I tugged him, but all the way along the sales process, all he wanted to do was curse at me and yell at me and tell me that the other person had a better price, and the other 5 people that he kept interviewing, and he kept bringing more people in, but he kept bringing me back in, but he just kept always, lambasting me with even vulgar things. But he needed tamed. I mean, I don't tell him he needs tamed, but to win this buyer, he needed to be tamed. He needed to understand all these things, but finally, you had to be in a position to say something like, you're willing to blow the deal to make the deal. You have got to get to your wit's end, and you've got to know that person, is done. He can't really say any more complicated things or challenge you in too many more difficult ways, or insult you, or push you to drive to a better price, or do all these things by using the peripheral environment. This person needs tamed, and it's finally time to tame him. So you need to be willing to blow the deal to make the deal. I mean, you've got to say, hey, it's now or never, baby, and here's why. But the interesting thing about this particular story was the way I tamed this particular person in this particular situation, after all the somewhat obscenities and pushing and rattling and even in some case belittling of salespeople. I finally looked at this 60-year-old trucker and said to him, I've been here. I've done everything you could ever want. And I've assessed that this sale needs to happen. And I really think you need to use me, because if you don't use me, this deal is off the table. But what I have learned most about you, sir, is that you clearly are the most likable asshole I've ever met. He laughed, about fell off his chair, leaned forward, and said, You, my friend, got the deal. Know your wired differently attitudinal powers. Know how to sell, tote, talk, tug, team to tame. Do it wired differently, my friends. Get that deal.